Hi. It's Tina from CNC Designs. Happy Monday. As you come in, if you see that red live button above my head, that means you have caught me live. If you do not see that live button, that means you're catching me on replay. In either case, please stop and say hello so that I can say hello back to you. I'm just gonna take care of some housekeeping. I'm gonna lower my computer volume, pull you up on the page so that I can see my comments closer. Tonight we are broadcasting live from CNC Designs as well as from the Crafting Network. And tonight is Magnolia Mondays. Hi Jen, how are you? Thank you for getting me shared. Let me see if I can pull us up on the page. Let's see what we have here. Just trying to find our live so we can get started. Thank you so much, Jen. I think I have us now. Let me pull up comments. Okay. So I think we're set. So tonight is Magnolia Monday, and I'm going to try and do something a little simple. I hope you all are doing well. I am not having such a good day today. My sciatica is bothering me, so sitting for a long time is problematic right now. So I'm going to try to make this quick so that I don't have to sit around too much. Thanks so much for those hearts. Hello, Create Place. How are you? Thank you for joining. So I'm going to show you our surface that we're going to be working with tonight. We're going to be working with a 12 by 12 wood surface that I have stained with a it's called walnut stain. So furniture stain, you can use it for crafts as well. So I've stained it, and this is the one that has the recessed back, so you could work on either side. But tonight we're going to be working on this side, and I've already prepped it by staining it. Hello, Lena Miller. How are you? Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. Tonight is Magnolia Monday, so we're going to be working with some Magnolia stencils. Excuse me, I just need a little sip. I am a rep with Magnolia Stencil Design Co. And tonight we're going to be working with one of our stencils, and we're going to be making a little, I'm going to do this for spring. And it says, I'm sorry, I don't know why Facebook, lately I cannot turn my camera to read the right way, but it says, plant smiles, grow laughter, and harvest love. So we're going to be working with this stencil. This is our Plant Smile stencil, is the name of it. It is a 12 by 12, and we're going to get started. Hi, Julie. How are you? Thank you for joining us. I've had this stencil for quite a while. I haven't used it. So tonight, we're going to be using it for the first time, and hopefully, we can come up with something cute. Not gonna be doing too much work tonight, guys. I was saying it earlier, I have sciatica and my right leg is killing me today. So I'm gonna try to make this short because the longer I sit, the worse it actually gets. So I don't wanna be sitting for too long. But here's our stencil again. It has those gorgeous plants on it. And I just thought that it was really a cute piece to make for spring. I actually have another idea in a way to use this stencil, and I'll probably do another version of it. But today is just, that's too intense. So today I'm gonna do something a little simple. And since we already have our surface prepped, you know me, I love to add texture in the background. So we are not gonna just apply the stencil straight to the board. We're gonna be working with some Waverly Celery paint, which is a nice pretty green color. And we're going to just add a little bit of color in the background. And then we're gonna use our crackle stamp to bring out even more color. So hopefully this will all look nice and springy, and it actually may even be able to carry you into the early parts of definitely summer and maybe even some early fall. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of this down onto my plate. I am using some cling wrap on my plate because it's just easy to, when I want to change colors, I can just get rid of that cling wrap and add a new piece and change my colors. I'm going to put this cloth here because I want it to be kind of a dry brush, not really dry brush, but I don't want a lot of paint because I just want to kind of just give it some extra color and texture. And I'm just going to go back and forth with my brush, and then we'll look at what we have and add more if we need to. I always say it's easier to add more, harder to take it off and create less. And this is just to provide some extra color in our background. So that's what we have there. Hello Nina, how are you? Thank you for joining us tonight. I want to put a little bit more here. And you can go heavier in some places, lighter in others. How's everybody doing tonight? Hello, Lori. How are you? Thank you for watching. I kind of like these striations of color as opposed to covering up the whole piece because I definitely want some of this wood to hang out and show. So this is an easy way to do that without covering up the entire surface. And I'll show you what we have in a sec. Okay. I think I'm gonna get rid of this because I don't think I'll need this anymore. And you can just then take that cling wrap, throw it away. Oh my goodness, guys, I did not bring a trash with me. Oh boy, that's gonna be problematic. Well, hopefully we'll have enough space to sit trash over here on the table. I'm just gonna get another piece off of my roll, just in case I have to go back in and add a little bit more paint. I'll already have my plate covered. Only thing about cling wrap is sometimes it gets wrapped onto itself and then you can't start it. But it's really good to use for these purposes. But if you crunch it up like this, you'll be able to find the starting spot. Hello, Miss Patterson. How are you, my friend? Okay, so that's all set in case we need to add some more color. And again, that was celery. We just kind of did like a little wash over our board that we had already used some walnut stain on. And of course, we're going to be tackling the sides and everything else. We may go in with a little bit of that celery on our sides. We'll see as we progress along. I'm just going to put a little bit of heat on here so we can dry that thoroughly because we are going to be using our stencil. And I don't want any paint stuck into the screen of my stencil. These stencils are screen print. So you definitely want to make sure you clear all the paste and the paint out because they are reusable. And if you clean them properly, you can use the stencil many times over. As most of you, if you have been with me for a while, you've been watching me use my stencils, some of them over and over again in different ways. So You definitely want to make sure you take care of the product so that you can get your money's worth and some. And if you are a person who sells craft, it is definitely awesome to add magnolia stencils into your arsenal. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that, Miss Patterson. I was just sharing with everyone, and this is going to be a quick thing tonight because my sciatica is bothering me. Oh my goodness, it's been giving me a fit today. Hello, Melissa, how are you? Thank you for watching. Okay, so that is what we have. I'm just trying to look and see if I want to add a little bit more, because when you dry, it does kind of fade a little bit to the back. Let's see about maybe a little more. Okay. I'm just dabbing that onto my plate. Yeah, it's giving me a little bit more visibility. This is a very pretty color. How's everybody's Monday been going? How was your weekend? Mine was pretty good. I did a lot of cleaning this weekend, and I think that's what kicked my sciatica up, because I was moving a lot of stuff, and I think I'm paying for it a little now. Yeah, that's definitely giving me the ability to see this color a lot more. And after this, we're gonna add a little bit of crackling onto our piece. And then we'll lay our stencil down. Not gonna do too many embellishments tonight. I think I wanna leave this kind of simple. I know a lot of times I show you things and I add a bunch of other stuff to it that you may or may not have. So you might want to see what you can do with minimal embellishments, but still using the stencils. Hello, Vicky. How are you? Oh, thank you, Miss Patterson. Hello, Terry. How are you? Thank you for joining us tonight. This celery is a pretty spring color, although it can take you right into fall, because I do use it in my fall crafts too. It's definitely versatile in that respect. It is Waverly. I love Waverly chalk paints because you don't need to apply too many coats, and you can get a real nice effect. So here we are. And we're gonna take out our crackle stamp, my favorite these days. I've been using this a lot. I go through phases. And I'm just looking at, I know that I'm gonna be using our almond latte for my stencil. So I'm just looking at what works in terms of my stamp. I like to use my distressed oxides. I'm gonna start out with some antique linen, and then we'll see if we need to go maybe darker or add some other colors. We'll just see how that goes. My little pressure tool here. I'm not seeing too much with antique linen, that's for sure. So we might have to step it down and go a little darker. Could use some green, so we'll leave that green out just in case. And let's pull up. I have brushed corduroy here. I have gathered twigs. Walnut stain. Of course, we have ground espresso, which is the darkest of the browns. But I don't want to go too dark at first. So I'm going to try let's try walnut stain. And hopefully we can get some crackle effect with it. If not, then we'll probably step all the way down and go to our, okay, that's working. I need to ink these stamp pads because I should be able to just tap and not feel like I need to rub so hard. That's because I haven't inked them in a while. Hello, Karen. Linda, did I say hello to you? Hello, Jennifer. So you can see that that crackle is coming through. I'm hoping that that is translating for you on the camera. And I am going to try and apply this in many places all over this background because I want that to peek through these plants on the stencil. It doesn't matter to me the pattern, how I lay it down. I just want the texture from the stencil, so it doesn't have to be laying the same way each time. And we may go back in with a little bit of a darker ground espresso just in places, but not over the entire stencil the way we're doing this. I really, really like this. It is so easy to get that crackle effect without a lot of hard work, not too labor intensive, just my style. I'm gonna add some here. Here, let's see if we can get it down without inking again. Oh, we need some more ink on that. Okay, I'm gonna try to see if you can see some of that crackle in there. Yeah, there you go. Now that was with walnut stain. Now we're just gonna pop a little bit of, thank you for those hearts, of ground espresso in there, which is a little bit of a darker brown in certain areas. Not all over. Just again, just bringing some more texture in there. We could go black, but black is too dark. So I find the ground espresso, and there's a gray color that also works. Yeah, that's definitely giving me a little bit darker in some areas. That's just what I wanted. In this corner, I'm going to try a little bit over here and down here, and then we'll move on. Okay, let's try This pad is usually inked more than the others because I use this color more than anything else. Hello, Jacqueline. How are you? Thank you for watching. Hello, Moments with Celeste. Thank you for watching. So you can see that ground espresso up there a little bit more in those corners, a little darker. And we're gonna keep moving on with that. I just love that effect. As if you can't tell, right? I am going to, I wonder, let me see. We'll use that for our edges. Hello, Whimsy Reef Design. Thank you for joining. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you continue to come back. We are usually here on Mondays and Friday nights. Fridays, we're here at 10 p.m. doing some late night crafting. Mondays is usually 8. Please stop back by and see us again. I want to see if this green is gonna make a difference. It's not, so we're not gonna worry about that right now. So let's put our stamp over here, and now let's look at, yeah, I really like that. That's looking good. I'm wondering, let's see if we can get a little pop of this fossilized amber. I don't know if it's gonna come through, but we're gonna try it. Not enough to make a difference, really. It'll come through better on our edges, so we'll save that. Okay, so here's our stencil. Plant smiles, grow laughter, and harvest love. And it has these awesome plants in the middle. I typically don't use multiple color paste when I stencil. And if you guys have been following me, you know that. But tonight I am gonna try to use 2 colors. I'm hoping that what I have in my head translates to the canvas. We'll see. So here's our tacky towel. This is a new stencil, so we need to fuzz. And I already know that I'll probably be using this stencil twice in this creation because I want to get it laying down once. And then we may go back and lay it again, especially over our plants. So I want to keep that in mind. I'm wondering how this is going to translate onto my piece. I have almond latte, and then I have this brown color. I know the brown is going to show up great. I just wanted it to be a little bit more airy and light, so I'm going to try it with my almond latte. Take some of the tackiness off because I don't want to get any paint on my stencil and my screen. And the screen is all those see-through areas that you see there. Okay, so I should have brought more than one squeegee over to the table. Guys, give me 1 second. Let me just get another set of squeegees. Excuse me. Okay. Sorry about that. I know we're gonna need more than one. Hello, Deetra, how are you? Hello, Iris, how are you? Thank you for watching and hanging out with me tonight. So I'm gonna put my words down with almond latte. And because I'm using multiple colors, I am gonna probably lift this up as I go along and not let it just stick there, because I'm gonna be opening and closing different color paste. So I want to make sure that the paste doesn't get stuck in the stencil. And I'm gonna do the Harvest Love too. And this stencil is available, so I will have links to it in my shop. And if you do not have a rep that you follow, please, if you want to order, you can order it from my shop. But if you are following a Magnolia rep, order from your rep so that they get the credit. This is definitely community over competition. Hello, Wendy, how are you? So I'm just gonna lift this up, and I see my R and laughter needs some more work. That's the beauty of lifting it up slowly. You can always go in and add any more paste where you see you might have missed a spot. Let's see. My R still does not want to act right, y'all. Let's put a little bit more paste down. That should do it. Okay, now we got it. Harvest Love looks great. A little bit on our S. And a little bit more on our V. Okay. So I'll show it to you in a sec, but we got some more colors that we're going to put down. So let me do that. Not sure about my pots yet. I've been thinking about that. I don't know what color I want to do my pots. I'm a very neutral type of person, so leave it to me. I'll do the whole thing in one color and add my color through various other means. But I think tonight I am gonna try a little bit. We'll see. We'll play around with these paste. And this is a dark green color that we're gonna use for our plant leaves, and this is called Army Green chalk paste. And I am going to endeavor to just put this on my plant leaves. I don't want to get it all over the place. So we're going to use a smaller squeegee. And we just want to put these plant leaves down. Hello, Chastity. How are you, cousin? So you just want to be careful when you're using multiple colors. You cannot go as quick as I like to go. If you watch me, I definitely don't like taking this amount of time, because this is like almost like painting to me. but I do want to do it tonight because I do want to challenge myself, and I don't want all of my piece to be one color today. And we got one more plant over here that we're gonna get these leaves done. And then we're definitely gonna go in and do some highlighting and all the things. Okay. And I want to lift that up as well. Very good. Now, these pots. I have this funny color green. I have this like a chartreuse. And then I have this sage. What colors do you guys think? This is like this is magnolia green. I'm gonna try maybe a magnolia green on one and the sage on the other two. We'll see how that comes out. Let's get rid of this. And let's try this sage. Here and here. And if it doesn't look dark enough to us, we can always add some additional color to it with our chalk markers as well as with some of our oxides. It's definitely, I can tell you right now, it's definitely not dark enough. That sage is pretty, but it's not really translating as dark as I would like it to. You can see here, I'm going to hold it up for you guys in a minute. Let's do a little bit of magnolia green mix in there. I just want to wipe off this squeegee because I don't want to contaminate my paste by putting some of this sage in with the magnolia color. Okay. Okay, let's put this up. Let me get this out of the way before I make a mess. And let's lift and see what we have. I like it so far. Let me just get a little bit of water down here so that I can start this paste to releasing itself. because I do know that I probably am going to go back in and bring it back once more. So let me show you what we have so far, and then we'll get a little bit of dry on it and keep moving forward. So what do you guys think? I like this. It's definitely different for me. Y'all know me, I don't do too much color, but I like this. It's nice and springy. It'll be nice in my kitchen. I'm thinking I might even add it to a wreath, possibly. But I do want to do something to these leaves, even though these plant leaves are typically green, but they have little striations in them, so I want to add something else with that. Hello, handmade with love. So now that we have this here, I'm thinking now I want to use some of this sage, maybe some of this chartreuse green. I have some paint pens here because I want to make those leaves look just a little bit more alive. And I like to prime my pens here because you never know how much is going to come out. And what I'm going to do is just, I'm not going to color. See, this one definitely has a lot. I'm not going to color, but now that I have that down there, I'm going to take a brush and I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a watercolor, especially since I have so much there. And we're not going to worry about whether or not it's getting in the lines or anything like that, because we're going to go back in with our green again and go over our leaves, but we want to add some color down here. I'm not an artist, so I am not trying to be perfect. I'm not trying to stay in my lines. I'm just putting some color down in here for various reasons, and you'll see why soon. It doesn't even matter to me if it's not in the line. That's not what I'm going for. You see, I'm just adding some more color in there. And we're gonna put in different shades or tones in the green family to make these leaves look like they have various tones inside of them. Thank you for those hearts. Hello, Miss Fanning. How are you, my friend? I'm even thinking I might want to go back over this whole plant section with almond latte and really make all of that pop. We'll see. It's cute, Miss Patterson. Thank you. So now I have another paint pen here and another color. It's more like a, I don't know, like a almond, not really almond, but like a almondy yellow kind of. Let's see what this yellow one is doing. I learned my lesson earlier with the other one, right? So we're not gonna go straight to the board with that. We're gonna take just a little bit, gonna add some water, and we're just gonna, and it's still a lot, y'all. We're not gonna necessarily do it everywhere or in all of the leaves, but we do wanna have some sort of contrast in color. These paint pens definitely have a lot in them. So you see me I put some pops of yellow in there. And what else do I have here? We got some more green. I just want to take and maybe put a little green line in there just to give it some oomph. I'm going to put a little bit more yellow up in the leaves here in the middle. Okay. And we've got some more yellow in those leaves. And I do think I want to put the whole thing back down and outline it again with almond latte, because I think that's going to help it stand up even more. At least that's what I'm hoping. Y'all laughing with me? Okay, so now let's sit this over here. We gotta get that stencil back. I need to clean it. Let's put these markers up. These are paint pens. Magnolia has all kinds of color paint pens that you can buy. They're on my site too. I'll make sure I leave a link. We even have a really pretty gold one. And then I also have some Posca paint pens in various sizes. Posca paint pens I usually purchase from, I get mine from Amazon, but I do check every now and then because places like Michael's sometimes has them buy one, get one free sales, and they are cheaper than they are on Amazon. So you definitely want to watch there as well. Hello, Cruz. Hello, Lenita. How are you? Thank you for watching. So let's get our stencil back. And let's try and clean it off. Because I do want to use it again. So we're gonna get our wipes out as always. You are not using baby wipes because baby wipes will break down the tackiness on your stencils. You don't want to use baby wipes. You always want to use some sort of antiseptic wipe when you're cleaning your stencils with a wipe. So I'm going to put this onto my tacky towel for a second so we can clean our backing sheet off because it is full of paste now. I can't believe I didn't bring a garbage bag. off a bit because now we want to turn it over and we want to wipe down the front. Hello Lisa, how are you? Thank you for watching. We want to try to get as much of it out as we can without having gone to the sink, of course, because the ideal place to do this would be the sink, but we are live, so we can't do that. So this is another alternative, especially when we want to use the stencil again. We're going to get one more pass with the wipe. Okay. And now I think we've got a fair amount out. This down here. Let's put our backing sheet here. Now I'm going to bring the tacky towel back up with the gray side showing. The gray side, as always, who remembers what the gray side is for? That is to whisk away moisture. Hello Eunice, how are you? So I'm just flipping it around and laying it on that gray side because this absorbs a lot of the moisture from the stencil so that it won't be wet when we go and lay it back down on our project. I do have to move it over here some in the middle. I don't like to do this, but I do need to get some of that out of the middle. Going to just take it down a little bit and make sure I get some out of that header in the top, and really try and make sure this is not wet because we got all that paste down there, so we don't want to reactivate anything. Hello Dawn, how are you? Thank you for watching. Okay guys, so now I am going to attempt to lay this back down and we're going to use almond latte again to kind of bring back some of those highlights. So it's going to take me a sec, I'm going to tell you that now, for me to get this lined up the way that it should be. That's not it. Let me look this way. This looks absolutely wonderful. That I'm not so sure about. So I'm wondering if I even got my thing. So I'm attempting to lay it back down and line it up. I told you I'm wonky, so chances are this is probably wonky too. We're gonna roll with it. Let's see what happens, y'all. Hi, Lori. How are you? Thank you for watching. Pull this out the way. And let's cross our fingers. Now I've got this laying right. And I'll tell you what, if it's wrong, then at least you will have learned what not to do. This is the hardest part, making sure that it's laying down correctly back in this original spot so that it lines up. I have a friend, her name is Renee. Her page is Renee's Chalk and Craze. She does a lot of this style creating with Magnolia. Go and check her out and learn how to do it the right way. She's amazing. She's got it like down to a science. I try, but mine doesn't. She just makes it seem so effortless, and it's really not that easy. I'm hoping that I got all these letters in the right place and I don't wind up with double vision. But if we do, there is a way we can correct that. And I will correct it if the wording is off. Because it's not sealed and this is chalk paste, I will be able to actually take it off and do it again. As long as you haven't sealed it, you can wipe it off and you can lay those words down again in case they're misaligned. The plants, I mean, you could do that with the whole thing, but it'll be harder with the plants because we use some of the chalk paste markers. It may be a little bit more of a challenge to get it up, but we'll see. Okay, y'all, I'm not mad. In fact, this is good work for Tina work, because I told you I don't know how to do anything straight and in the middle. That's why my stuff is always off to the side, because I have challenges lining things up. But this was not half bad. What do y'all think? I like that. I like it. Thank you, Miss Pastor. You had your fingers crossed because you know me, girl. You know I will listen. But this is pretty cool. I really like it. I love the, see how those green leaves have a little bit of, have some definition to them now. I really, really like that. I think I'm definitely going to do, y'all know me, we're going to edge this up. We're going to put some splatters on it. It's not quite finished yet, but whew, I could breathe now because I was holding my breath in case y'all didn't know. I was like, Lord, I'm live and I'm about to make a mess. Thank you, Miss Fanny. I like this. I think I'll practice it a little bit more, get a little bit more confident. You might see me doing 1 or 2 more of these. But it's just definitely, I wish you guys could see this up close, because that laying that back down again really made those leaves have a lot of definition. It really looks good. But, you know, my sides, they're begging for some attention. So, I'm going to have to definitely pay them some mind. You definitely need to define the edge of this whole thing. We got 4 minutes, so I'm gonna start defining the edge. Y'all know what we do, how we do that anyway. And I'm even thinking of just to give it a little bit more dimension right in here where these plant pots start. I'm thinking of putting just a little bit of moss, Spanish moss, just to give it, again, a more realistic feel, make it more textured. I am going around the edge right now with peeled paint, which is a Tim Holtz green. I'm definitely gonna add some other colors to that. But I'm trying to keep that family of those greens and yellows and that kind of thing going around these edges. That's not popping enough for me. So now we're gonna look at some fossilized amber and bring a little bit of that on to the piece. And I'm even taking the fossilized amber just up onto the piece a little bit more than we did with the green. I'm gonna show you that, and then of course you know we're gonna come in with some darker ones to even define it even more, but you can see that yellow and that green on those edges there popping a little bit, and that's what we're going for. So this is ground espresso. I'm gonna scuff that up a little bit more up here in these corners. Now we're talking. Bring it a little bit on the top up here. I'm gonna get in those corners some more. So now you can see how those edges are really becoming defined. We're gonna definitely do some crackle around here on these sides. We're gonna get our stamp back. What did I do with the stamp, y'all? Oh, here it is. Y'all laughing at me. Thank you for those hearts. Hello, Michelle. How are you, my friend? So we're gonna get this inked up, and I want to apply some to the sides over here. I want to pay some attention to that. We're gonna put some speckles of gold in here. Just get this one side at least done so you can see. If you've been following me, you already know what this does. But for those who may be watching for the first time, I want to show you why we do that. You laughing with me, Miss Fanning? Where's my okay? That is definitely giving me what I was looking for. So we're starting to crackle our sides there. You'll definitely see that more as I apply more, but we're gonna go all around those sides with that crackle. We're going to take our spackled paint and just do our little spackling on the sides. What time do we have? We're at 9:01. I'll take about 2 or 3 more minutes with you guys, and I'm gonna let you go, and I will definitely post the final product from tonight's live. But I am pretty pleased at what we accomplished, because I'm honestly speaking, I did not know how this was gonna come out, because I don't do a lot of this style of creating with the Magnolia stencils. But I wanted to show you, like I said, I wanted to show you something that you could do with your stencils and you didn't have to have a bunch of extra embellishments to go along with it. And I think we've accomplished that nicely tonight. So I'm gonna finish these edges and then I'll post the pictures, but here is pretty much what our final project looks like. I hope you enjoyed making this with me. I hope I've inspired you to do something of your own like this. And again, I will leave all links to the products that I use in the comments when I post the pictures and in the comments in this video. I appreciate you. I hope you come back and hang out with me on Friday night at 10. Is it 10 o'clock? I think it's 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock or 10:30, 10 o'clock when we go live on Friday. And we'll be doing something different. In the meantime, you have a blessed rest of your week. You have a great night. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And as always, here are some hearts from my heart to yours. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Have a good night. Bye-bye. Thank you, Miss Patterson. Feel better.